Clues by Sam. Let's start. Karen is telling us that Isaac is one of the innocents neighboring Floyd. So we have Floyd here, and Isaac is an innocent, but we don't have a number of innocents that's neighboring Floyd. Now, Isaac, so that doesn't really help us anymore. Now, Isaac's telling us that both innocents below Cheryl are connected. So either Gabe or Ryan are innocent. But we're sure that Xena is a criminal. Now Xena is telling us that there are exactly two innocents to the right of Thor. So we know that Will is innocent and Zoe is another one. Will doesn't tell us anything. How many criminals are you going to catch this week? Hopefully all of them. Zoe is telling us that an odd number of innocents in row 3 are neighbor Paula. So row 3, and here's Paula, an odd number of innocents in row 3. So we know that John is an innocent as well, and we don't need this anymore. Now John is telling us that there's an odd number of criminals above Xena. Which tells us that Cheryl is also an innocent. Now, because there's two innocents below her, so we need one more to make 3, which is an odd number. Now, Cheryl's telling us that there are more criminals than innocents to the left of Daniel. So we know that Alex and Bobby are criminals. Alex is just saying some respect, Will. We're not fish. And Bobby is telling us that two painters have an innocent directly above them. Now, where are the painters? Eve's a painter and Megan's a painter. Do we have another one? Two painters have an innocent directly above them. Eve has a criminal above her. Now, is there another painter? Oh, Isaac's a painter. So Eve is innocent. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Eve's telling us that there are more innocents among painters than any other profession. Counting. Counting is always the issue. So painters, we have one more to figure out, and there are 3 of them. Now, other professions are cooks. How many cooks we have? 1, 2. 2 cooks. So it doesn't matter. Doctors. 1, 2. So that doesn't matter. Now, judges. 1, 2. Doesn't matter. Clerks. We have 1 clerk, 2 clerks. Doesn't matter. Mechanics. 1. 2. 2 mechanics. So it doesn't matter. Coders. We have 1 coder. 2 coders. So it doesn't matter. And teachers. We have 1 teacher, 2 teachers, and 2 singers. I guess what that means is that if any profession can have at most 2 innocents, because there are only 2 of each profession. Then painters have to have at least 3 innocents to be more than 2. Now, another painter, Megan's telling us that only one of the 2 criminals neighboring Eve is Cheryl's neighbor. Eve. Where's Eve? This is Eve. And only one of the 2 criminals neighboring Eve is Cheryl's neighbor. So the 2 criminals neighboring Eve are these 2. So this one's an innocent, Floyd. And we have all of Eve's neighbors. Now Floyd's telling us that all innocents below Bobby are connected. So Paula is another innocent, and we don't need this anymore. Now Paula is telling us that Alex has more criminal neighbors than Megan. Where's Megan? Megan's here. And where's Alex? Alex only has 1 criminal neighbor, so Megan has to have 0. And we don't need this anymore. Thor's telling us that exactly 1 innocent in row 1 is neighboring Hilda. Row 1. Hilda is here. 1 innocent is here. So we know that Daniel is a criminal. And we don't need this anymore. Now Daniel is telling us that Sarah is one of 3 innocents in column D. This is column D. Sarah is one of the 3 innocents, and we have 1 more to figure out between these 2. Sarah is telling us that Eve and Zoe have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Eve is here and Zoe is here, and they have an equal number of criminal neighbors, so Ryan has to be a criminal. And we don't need this anymore. 2 innocents to the right of Thor. I don't need this anymore. Now Ryan's telling us that I wouldn't mind being a Pokemon. Where does that come from? Both innocents below Cheryl are connected. So we know that Gabe is an innocent, and we don't need this anymore. There are more criminals than innocents to the left of Daniel. Where's Daniel? We don't need this anymore. Gabe's telling us that the only criminal in between Daniel and Zoe is Lisa's neighbor. In between Daniel and Zoe. It's Lisa's neighbor, so Hilda is the criminal and Lisa is an innocent. Nice. Less than 8 minutes. Thanks for watching, I guess. Let's try again tomorrow.